Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Fresh Out the Box Reviews Stuff. I am the board game guru, game master extraordinaire, Jahan.
It's me, Casualty CDG. I'm the co-host of this fine show, Fresh Out the Box. And today we're not playing a game. No, we're looking at a game. This game is recently being made by Netflix into a show, and then it'll be a thing that people are going to watch. So I figure you guys want to learn about it.
Yeah, we should talk
I
about
don't
it.
know. I don't know anything about it. Jahan's going to teach us everything.
I'm going to teach you some stuff. I learned a little bit about it so far. This is The Electric State from Free League Publishing. I feel like it's somehow related to Tales from the Loop, Tales from the Flood, which are two other very well-received games from Free League. One of them was also made into a TV show. So, yeah, this is The Electric State. I'm not sure how I have to. We were sent this, so disclosure, we were sent this for free. I don't know if that matters, but I don't want to get in trouble.
Exactly.
So yeah, the Electric State. We'll stop off. One of the most important things in any tabletop role playing game, the setting. You know what I mean. The rules are important, but you can come up with any arbitrary rules to manage some sort of storytelling apparatus. The setting's what really gives it its flavor, its chutzpah, So the Electric State, the game is set in an alternate version of the late 1990s we know from our world. The year is 1997, and after a period of great turmoil, civilization is irreversibly crumbling. In the nation of Pacifica, comprising what was once the state of California, people do whatever they can to ignore the slow-moving apocalypse unfolding around them. So there was a second Civil War. It seemed to have involved robots somehow. Not that we were fighting against them, we were just utilizing killbots. The field of neuronics emerged in the 1960s and evolved rapidly, particularly during the tumultuous 70s and 80s. Its basic application enables individuals to don helmets like neurocasters, gaining access to a digital network used for work, entertainment, and leisure activities. And this is kind of where the Electric State comes into play. The Electric State refers to the neuroscape of this kind of place. This game is steeped in 90s nostalgia. It recommends, listening to Nirvana and Dr. Dre and Robin and Nine Inch Nails and whatever.
Funny that you mentioned that. I knew that you were going to start here by looking at the setting stuff, and there just was nothing that was, well, it's not that there was nothing jumping out at me, it's that everything was jumping out at me, so I couldn't figure out what to pick out. So I did what I usually do, and I scrolled down to the character creation section to sort of look at how that's going to play in, and right as you're mentioning this, dig into the nostalgia, play these songs, feel this. There's actually a pick your favorite song in the character creation that has a D100 where you can roll all sorts of different nostalgic 90s songs.
It's pretty cool.
So when we get there later, you're gonna love looking at that. But yeah, it's funny how it's even built into the character customization. That's something we always talk about. Is the flavor of the game.
That's one of our top things that we want in a TTRPG. Does the setting beget rules? Do the rules beget setting? You know what I mean? It's they have to feed off each other. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. It's not a D100. It's actually a D66 to pick your song. I'm sure we'll figure out why that is soon enough.
So I think it's because this is kind of about road tripping, and you got to get your kicks on Route 66, I believe. So.
Oh, funny. You're a funny, smart man. I actually live by the old Route 66-ish.
Ooh. Do you ever go put another 6 up there and be like, ha-ha, and run away?
No.
Okay. Let's just ask.
There's one part of Route 66 that intersects itself, and it's right in Albuquerque.
That'd be Route 6666. Wait, 66.
That's correct. 66 squared.
Yeah. That's where the devil lives.
It's also when you get 2 really big drinks from Sonic, they call that a Route 66 squared.
Oh boy. So that'd be very large thing. So also, Strange events. This is a thing that might be important here. In a world where every news outlet is suspect of serving someone's interest, distinguishing truth from outright lies becomes a challenge. I can feel that. Rumors have always circulated in Pacifica, but of late they took a darker, more sinister turn, closely entwined with the development of neuronics. One thing America hasn't lost is in its present decline is its penchant for conspiracy theories. So there whispers abound regarding colossal mechanical creatures traversing the countryside. Some say
figured out what some of these robots are and how they fit in and what's up with that.
Yeah, they have something to do with it.
A lot of them were drones, and so drone pilots were connected and integrated with them through the neuronic systems.
Oh no!
And have since lost their human bodies. Yeah,
they got trapped in the machine. They're ghosts in the machines. Yeah,
exactly. That's exactly what's going on here.
Okay. So yeah, see, this is the slice that like turns it into like a tabletop, I don't know, role playing game. Like, oh, big monsters. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm on board here. Yeah, they had something to do with the war. Big robots roaming the countryside seems to be a theme in all of these games, because there's a lot of that in Tales of the Loop from the Loop as well. I don't know. They have an interesting view on like how artificial intelligence comes to be, and this is kind of a weird way. We can skip the rest of that setting, so I feel like we have a good picture here. But this game, it calls a campaign a journey. So the GM doesn't need to improvise everything that happens. Before play begins, the GM has a written journey consisting of several stops. Each stop, the travelers will, for one reason or another, need to stay for a day or two. At these stops, interesting, strange, and horrible things happen. So it's kind of broken up. So it's the journey. It's broken up into stops, and stops are broken up into encounters, and then encounters are broken up into scenes. So like that's where it starts to get more into typical TTRPG language here. But stops. Each stop has a map of the area and describes its inhabitants and locations of interest. It also has a countdown of potential events. Often using neurocasters to enter the electric state is useful or even necessary to resolve the situation. So sometimes you have to go into the Matrix. It's cool. So yeah, I mean, and then you know what encounters and scenes are mostly. If you don't, go watch our other videos. We talk
actually
about this kind of stuff a lot.
Part of the travel is giving your character a reason why they have to like get to a place, and you almost always have to use the Matrix to get through steps along the way.
Yeah,
which I think is super cool. One of the things in the character creation for the archetypes, the first time I've ever seen a game say this is it says there shouldn't be multiple of the same archetype.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was neat to see.
Some games say it, but it is rare. Usually they don't care to mention it, because most of the time people try not to double up anyways. But it's good to know. Yeah,
this one straight up says there should not be more than one traveler of the same archetype in the group.
There must be a reason.
There must be a reason. I'm thinking the same thing. There must be a mechanical reason, and they don't want two characters to do the same thing.
And then, so this is interesting. Lots of games have interesting ending obsessions kind of situations. Like, some of them, geeking out during the credits happens in City of Mist, where you kind of talk about what happened. I don't know. I like that kind of stuff. It says here, at the end of the session, travelers may have resolved things. The entire area might be burnt to the ground, or you might still be in the middle of the action. In any event, the travelers learn something and get a chance to improve their attributes and acquire new talents. If the situation at the stop was not resolved, the game continues there in the next session. When the travelers reach their destination or die before they get there, the journey ends. So yeah, it looks like, there's some sort of typical sort of leveling up, but doesn't mention anything about experience. So it's probably just like how certain games award you a certain amount of points at the end of every session, maybe something like that. Rolling dice seems to be D6s. So
yes, it appears to be a D6 system where you're rolling a ton. They have custom dice, red and white dice, But they are D6s, and based on crits, you can do more things. So that's also cool. You can like get buffs for more crits.
Yeah, it says
The
D6,
more sixes you roll,
2d6, and D66, like you were talking about earlier.
mm-hmm.
D66. Another common roll is D66. This means rolling 2 dice after deciding which one represents the 10s and the 1s.
That's what I figured.
Does one
It's
of
just a
them...
2d6.
Is it 2d6 or is it 2d10s?
No, it's 2d6 because it's a 66, so they're only going to show max number 66.
Max number 66? That's interesting.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. It's strange. It seems it seems almost
And
unnecessary,
let me
but I'm sure it
guess.
works.
I guess the other thing starts at 11 also instead of 0 on the low side.
Yeah.
That is correct. Starts at 11.
Yeah, it must. Yeah.
I just double checked. I scrolled down to the songs section. Looked at that D66 board again. You know how Green Ronin always says it's 10 easy steps to create a character, but it's actually 12 or 14?
Yeah.
Electric State actually gives you the true real number, and it's an overwhelming, it's a very foreboding 17-step character creation process, but at least they're telling the truth.
At least they're telling the truth. Yeah, some of this art's really, really nice. I'm flashing a little bit of it every now and again.
Yeah, man, the art is very interesting. It's very, very cool. I wouldn't mind having a physical copy of this book because the art is so very neat.
Free League does good books. I like their books.
There's always like one of the drones in like every other page and like one of the shots. There's always a little robot to remind you of what you're looking at, which I really like.
I like the headsets that you use to jack into the electric state. They look real dumb.
Yeah, they do look really stupid, but they look like they're from the 90s, dude. 100%. They look like a 90s VR headset.
They do. I remember 90s VR headsets, man.
Mm-hmm.
They had them at the arcade.
For anybody who's not watching, for anybody who's just listening along, you like put it over it looks like a baseball cap shape, except the bill is like a foot and a half long.
Yeah,
and so you put the whole thing over your head and just have this giant bill sticking out in front of your face.
Oh man, some of these are creepy, dude. There's a picture of one of those giant robots with a bunch of tethers attached to it. And the tethers are attached to people in VR helmets, like a zombie army, dude.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting caught up here. So, cool artwork. That's a big plus here. Lots of maps and stuff. What page does the character creation start on?
So, I'm glad you asked. The character creation starts on 52, I believe.
I was so close. I was almost there.
50.
Yep.
It starts on 50. Yep.
Your
50,
traveler.
50.
There it is. Okay, so creating your traveler. Like you said,
I'll
17
read these
steps.
to you.
Yeah.
Why don't you flash down to page 66 so you can look at what these archetypes are, and I'll read you sort of. Well, step 1 is choose your archetype.
Yeah.
I think this is a weird layout thing because choosing your archetype is at the end of this chapter, even though it's the first step, and everything else is in order after this.
That is weird.
I think that's weird. I know layout's hard. Look, guys, I'm not trying to beat you up on layout, but the thing should be where the thing's at, not after the thing.
Man, it's way down there. Holy shit. Okay.
It is way down there. All right, choose your archetype. I believe there are 10 classes to choose from.
Yeah, I can go over them real quick if you want. There's artist, criminal, devotee, doctor, drone pilot, and that seems to be a ghost trapped in a robot body.
That's exactly what it is.
Investigator, outsider, which just seems to be some sort of alternative punk rock guy. Runaway kid. They have a knife. That's cool. Scientist, veteran, and that's it. Pretty easy to understand those. I like that. They didn't try to reinvent the wheel here, but they have some really, really unique things mixed in. So yeah.
Yeah, they do. Some setting-specific stuff that I think would be really cool. Any of those jump out at you besides Drone Pilot?
Drone Pilot really jumps out at me, man. I want to live a constant existential nightmare, buddy. That's me in a nutshell.
Drones are cool, man. They don't have to eat, but they do still have to sleep because there still is a human on the other side.
What? Okay, well that's weird.
Hmm?
All right, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, so that means that your player character is not there. You can't equip gear, you can't equip items. There's like specific drone stuff and drone damage. But I think theoretically that puts you in a situation where your drone is unmanned while the party is having to sleep or watch over it or what the situation might be, which I think is really cool.
That is cool. Yeah, that one obviously jumps out at me. Here, I'm gonna let me throw the visual on the screen real quick. There it is. Look at that. Look at that beautiful little guy there. That's incredible. That one jumps out. So when I'm playing a game, I don't know if I've ever talked about this before, but like, so when I'm choosing my character, like, it's really important that I'm deciding like what I want to get out of the game. You know what I mean? What I like to do. You know, do I like getting in the grease, being aggressive, doing combat stuff? A lot of the time, I like to figure things out, dive into lore, find out secrets and stuff. So the investigator is immediately jumping out at me. I like to be proactive, problem solve, and that kind of thing. And being a character that has that baked in seems like a no brainer.
I liked that picture of the investigator where she's holding that helmet. It makes me think that in this setting they may be able to investigate people's, footsteps and things through the Matrix, which could
Maybe.
be a really cool setting specific thing, right?
Yeah, maybe. Or they have to chase people through the neuronet and like solve cyber crimes. Very interesting.
So after you would pick your archetype, the next step is just rolling stats. You roll your attributes. It's a 2d6 thing. You re-roll ones so that you have a decent stat block. And there's 4 main stats, not super hard to understand: strength, agility, wits, and empathy. One, two, three, 4. Yep. No stat can be lower than a 2 or higher than a 6. How you like me now?
It's pretty easy.
Most of the pluses in this game look like they're going to be +1s and +2s. And if I could direct your attention to page 53, this is where I was talking about the multiple successes on your d6s. So when you roll a 6, it's a success, and the more you roll, you can do extra things like show off or do it quickly or do it quietly, or even achieve unintended effects with crits. So there's a lot of storyteller fun to be had, I think, with this kind of system. And since it's a 2d6 system, you basically have everything you need already at your house. All you have to do is buy a version of Yahtzee and you can play.
Got him right here, buddy.
Jahan just picks up 2d6 out of nowhere.
Got him right there. That's from all the age we play. Yeah, no, it's definitely a lot of this stuff is very akin to some rules light kind of stuff. It seems like a rules. It's not a rules light setting. It's a little crunchier than that, but it's pretty. It's pretty broken down. It's pretty easy. It seems pretty accessible. It seems very setting heavy, which is cool. So yeah, so far so good.
After you do your attributes, you calculate your health. There's derived numbers for that, so we won't worry about that until you buy the game.
Derived stats.
Then, yeah, like derived health from strength plus agility, things like that.
Hell yeah.
Figuring out
dude.
your HP. Yeah, so it's like, you don't need to know those formulas
No.
until you buy the game. Roll or choose a starting talent. That's page 56. So here you go from, you got your class now, or your archetype, and then you're going to stack a talent on it. So you've got your stats figured out. Step 4, picking a talent. Page 56. You over there, Jahan? You checking them out yet?
Oh yeah.
What are we looking at for the talents, man? Anything jump out at you? Anything looks like it would fit your investigator or your drone pilot?
There's a lot of cool stuff. There's stuff like club fighter, where you do blunt weapons, bowman, crossbows, bomber, explosives. But there's also things like drone operator, electronics, hacker, leader, lone wolf, machine gunner, all kinds of stuff, man. Like it really runs the gamut. It seems pretty. I don't know. They're like lesser feats from D&D. They're a little bit weaker than that, but still very. But in this setting, they're probably pretty on par. So
you've got your 4 stats, right? And you rolled your d6s. So if you have a total attribute score of 15 or lower, you then get to choose an additional talent.
that's fair.
Correct. Yeah. So if you start off worse, you start off with an extra talent to make you balanced out. From there, it goes into pages that aren't as detailed. This is really kind of rules light stuff here. Choose your dream and choose your flaw on page 59. There aren't examples for it. It's just sort of helps you get through it by explaining what those mean. And then, Jahan, page 60 is where you roll or choose your favorite 90s song. And this is what I was immediately excited and wanted to share right off the bat.
See what mine is. Mine is... You can't make that up, dude. It's a song that I'm obsessed with. And used to play it all the time in my house when I was a kid.
No joke. That's awesome. What is it?
Kiss from a Rose by Seal.
That is a great song.
It's like me and Jenny's song, dude. It's really funny. I can't believe I rolled that 56.
Yeah, that's great.
The dice don't lie, dude.
I don't have 2d6 on me. Let me just...
Can we roll for you?
Yeah, you can roll for me.
You got 66. Burn the cure.
Great. Oh, yeah, okay. Not bad. Yours is better. Vamp would be going nuts right now. Vamp loves the cure, I do believe.
Yeah, I'm all about Kiss from a Rose. That's a great pick for me. What does that mean? Is that just a little tidbit, or is that mechanical? Oh, Traveler has no mechanical effect. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, it should be right there on that page. I'm guessing it's just for setting flavor for the Game Master to introduce it to scenes.
Baby, I could be you too. Yeah.
After that, you describe your Traveler. That's step 9. Step 10 is choosing a name. Number 11 is roll or choose your Neurocaster model. So that's page 61. And I know that you're interested in that.
I am.
You're like, Neurocaster? Yes, please. Also on page 61 is to roll or choose your personal item and your starting cash. So you sort of have 3 things here on this page, steps 11, 12, and 13.
Oh, they're described on page 92.
Of course, why wouldn't they be?
It's another layout thing. This is a pretty big book, 236 pages.
It's a good-sized book, and it's a beautiful book. So if I'm giving them a hard time on layout, they had to make room for this art, and they did a really good job with the art.
Let's see. The common Neurocasters, there are 5 common ones. They have their own stats, which include processor, network, and graphics. They range from $700 to $1,300. There's a jury-rigged one that is free, it says, but you probably have to make it. It just gives you +1 to everything. There's the Stimulus TLE Standard, Stimulus Go, Johnny Jolt Theme, and Stylus TLE Pro. Or Stimulus TLE Pro. So, yeah, those are the models. They just have stats. They range from +1 to +3. And so, the best one has +3 in all 3 places. The worst one has +1. So, yeah. Interesting.
Steps 14 and 15 here are to let the Game Master present a journey or plan it together as a group, and it says reference page 112 for that, so there may be session 0 notes on page 112.
So if you are watching, they show the Neurocasters, and it seems that the better ones just have longer duck bills coming up the front.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then
I love that.
Then the Johnny Jolt themed one has like a cartoon character on it, and like the tip looks like a lightning bolt. Oh, that's pretty good. I like that. Continue.
So there's the present your journey with your GM or make it together, page 112. There's session 0 notes probably. Next is note down your destination and your personal goal and threat. Then 16 and 17. 16 is determine your vehicle and any shared items in it. So I'm guessing that's a group thing. That's page 62. You should be just 1 page away from that. And then finally, after determining your vehicle and shared items, present yourself to the group and set tension levels with other travelers. And that'll be on page 64. Let me go see what these session 0 notes might look like.
There's some vehicle questions. What type of vehicle? What brand? What model? What traits does it have? What does it look like? How does it smell? And who drives?
I think it's your group vehicle, right?
Yeah, I think so. Because you're on a road trip, so that's kind of interesting. And then, yeah, there's a little list of shared items. And they really, really range. Tensions. Tensions lie at the heart of any narrative. So, travelers have relationships to each other, whether they just met or know each other well. These relationships will change. To each of the other travelers, you have a tension score ranging from 0 to 2. So this is in between you and the other players. You can have a tension 0, no question or unspoken thoughts or feelings. 1 is suppressed or contained, irrational, irritation, love, interest, or other feelings and thoughts. And 2 is uncontained strong emotions such as rage, love, or fear. So yeah. Tension ratings are asymmetrical. Your relationship with other travelers could be tense for you, but not for them. So yeah, that's interesting.
Just like real life. I like that. We usually try to do that when we play games. We usually try to have back history tied to other characters that either does or doesn't create tension for some reason. So it's neat that they baked that in here. It really does help with the roleplay aspect.
Yeah.
One of the things that's weird to me is how populated this setting is. There are a ton of other people and cars and things around and things happening. It's not just like a zombie apocalypse where you're the last people walking the land. It's different. It's a different kind of setting.
Yeah, because the world hasn't ended. It's just like slowly starting to crumble. And so you're in a civilization on the decline. Kind of like Children of Men. Have you seen that movie? It's a good one. But yeah, it's just a world that's heading towards the end, circling the drain a bit, but not quite there yet. That one, their apocalypse is people can't have kids anymore, so.
Oh, this is so funny. It's right after I mentioned the population thing. I actually found, I was in the session 0 part for like creating your journey together as a group. And one of the things is a D6 for population for the zones. And so densely populated is hundreds or thousands of people. Crowded is considered 300 to 500 inhabitants. So there are some people around. It's definitely smaller communities. Yeah. Definitely much smaller.
Yeah, I mean, post-war world, less people. Yeah, man, and then there's these just massive things on the side of the road. Massive structures, ancient tech. Very cool. Yeah, and there is combat. So, they have rules for close combat, range combat. Seems pretty light. Pretty easy. You can take hits, fight back, stand tall, dodge, take cover, that kind of stuff. It doesn't seem to be overly complicated. So if you don't like the minutia of that kind of thing, this definitely seems like a good system for you. It's definitely lighter on those aspects. But you can still incapacitate. There's still death rolls. There's instant kills, rallying, stabilizing, additional sources of damage. There's a picture of a man bleeding out next to a car. So, like, this setting can get fucked up. It's not... It's definitely... Like, some of the artwork and stuff definitely paints, like, kind of a whimsical picture. But this is pretty... It's kind of dark. It's kind of dark, pretty dystopian.
This is almost like a peek behind the veil. There's a section in the session 0 that's threat types. So the kinds of things you might come across in this game: armed threats like murderers, thieves, police, militia, or soldiers; manipulative threats such as liars or agitators; technological threats like robots, drones, drone growths, or the convergence; environmental threats like storms, earthquakes, animals, and diseases; past sins such as unfinished business from another stop; and personal threats, one traveler's personal threat, whatever they pick that is, That's a thing that we do in character creation.
I like all of that. Yeah, man, they also have rules for serious injuries, which you roll, D66 roll. They have, there's also mental trauma that you can have everything from being confused to having a personality split. So, like, it can get pretty serious there. It also seems like one of the unique things to this setting, mechanically, is something called a hope score. So page 85 talks about losing hope. Your hope score is reduced by pushing rolls, which is how you push your rolls beyond their normal limits. and also by traumatic events as indicated by the GM or the stop text. Mark off your hope lost on your character sheet. And that can, so there's breaking down, there's traumatic events. Traumatic events are when a traveler suffers a traumatic event. The GM indicates potential loss of hope. You then make an empathy roll. Each rolled dice reduces the amount of lost hope by 1. Each time you roll a 6, I think. Yeah, it's hard to see. It's a little S shape on their special dice. You may push this roll, but that comes with an additional risk of pushing may further reduce hope. Freeze. If you lose 1 or more points of hope from a traumatic event, you also freeze, losing your next turn. So it stops you. So mechanical effects. And then there's a breakdown. When your hope is reduced to 0, you suffer a breakdown. You can't bring yourself to continue any further. You may talk, move, and flee the scene, but you cannot roll for any attributes or use any talents. You just you go into shock, essentially, and you lose all hope. But then they have something, they mentioned this earlier, rallying is when you're having a breakdown, someone else in the same zone can try to motivate you to press on. This requires an empathy roll by them. If you succeed, you regain a number of health points equal to the number of 6s they rolled. If no one else rallies you, you rally on your own after a shift. Which I'm sure is some game term we walked past, and regain 1 point of hope. So yeah, man, that's interesting. I like it. That's what kind of sets this game apart a little bit. You know, that's one of the things that makes the Electric State because it is a dystopian society, and you know, hope plays a big role in that. So.
When I read that the convergence was a potential threat, I decided to Control F the convergence and figure out what it was in this document. Turns out that giant creature that you saw with all those red-eyed shambling zombies is the convergence.
I like that.
A lot of the pilots in the Civil War who were in the mechs grew to like the feeling of being one. And so they give themselves to the machine spirit. And the machine spirit uses the human bodies as scouts and to feed and attack and things like that.
They're like a hive.
They are exactly like a hive
like
cult.
A techno hive. That's cool.
Yep, that's exactly it, my friend.
This game is spicy. I might actually have to run this for us down the line here. So whenever I come back from my paternity leave in January, we might have to jump on this. In addition to this, this game has, any journey is going to have hazards like fire, cold, disease, falling, hunger and thirst, sleep deprivation. Those all play a role in this because you have to plan your journey correctly. You have to evaluate the risks you're taking with potential reward. Very, very cool. And then finally, we get to neurocasting using your neurocasting helmet. You can do things like find information, use or hack systems linked to the neuroscape, such as drones and alarms, and interact with other avatars inside the neuroscape, including attacking them. So, there's a whole another realm where you can interact. It's always interesting to see how games do this. I really enjoyed how Cyberpunk Red simply overlaid the cyber world with reality so that you, can still be present while you manipulate it. I thought that was really cool. This seems different, and I like it. I like the sound of it. It has that feeling of, it has that good sci-fi flavor. You know what I mean? It feels good.
It really does. The fact that it's all set in the 90s and it's low tech, except for the Matrix, is really cool.
Yeah. I wonder how good the graphics are in there. That'd be funny. It's all like Tomb Raider, like PlayStation graphics.
That's exactly what it would look like, right?
But unless you can kill each other.
You've got the upgraded graphic version too, though.
Yeah. But yeah, then they start getting into the neurocasters and stuff. There's a lot of stuff. We're not going to get bogged down with that kind of minutia here. Then there are giant mechs the size of Howl's Moving Castle. Show you guys some of that here for your face at home. Very cool looking. lot of dead pilots there. And then they have rules for the drones and whatnot. Yeah. Oh, vehicles. Here we go. Vehicles can range from horse to boat and helicopter and beyond. So, including military drone ships. So there's quite the... I wasn't expecting that many. I thought it was going to be like station wagon, minivan, sedan. I didn't know there was going to be motorcycles, bicycles, dirt bikes, pickup trucks, buses, rowboats, and drone ships. Like, that's crazy. So that's good. I'm sure you'll be happy about that.
Oh, I am really happy about that. I'm also, remember how I told you that dreams and flaws seemed a little bit more abstract? There are different dreams and flaws for each archetype. This is probably one of the reasons they don't like archetypes to overlap.
Makes sense. And also, I don't want to run a game of nothing but drone pilots. That seems boring.
Yeah, I mean, like 2 drone pilots, I guess, sure, that would probably be fine. I would probably homebrew it that would be fine, but the rules say don't. And I'm okay with that, too.
I'm okay with it, too.
I would play a devotee, I think. It looks like there are cult hippies that, like, no matter what, like, you find the truth. That's the name of the cult. And then you find the cult leader, and he, like, shows you the way. And so one of the flaws is that you have to show everybody else the way.
Oh, no.
I was like, oh yeah, this game would be a blast. I can already tell how fun this would be. It's like making my hands sweat. It would be so fun. I'm going to give Electric State a big thumbs up from my side here, Jahan. I love the layout of this book. Well, not the layout. There's some layout questions, but I love the art enough that it offsets what I feel about the layout. The art's
great. The layout has issues. They all do, but I don't think it's that bad.
No, and it's a clickable PDF, so even if the layout's not great, you can click the page number where you need to go, and you'll be there in no time.
Clickable PDF. You can get this on Free League Publishing's website. They also have it on DriveThruRPG, which is how this clippable PDF was distributed to me. Yeah, man, there's all kinds of stuff, obstacles, everything you need, man. And then finally, Chapter 5, I got to the journey. That's where this thing starts. And that's probably where it's going to end for us. But, hey, you said you thought it was fresh. Thumb up. Yeah, man, definitely.
Fresh as hell, bro. Absolutely fresh.
Fresh as hell. Setting, I give 2 thumbs up. Rules, definitely a thumb up here. Like, solid, seem pretty light yet deep, which is a good mix.
Yes. As far as the Game Master stuff that I was flipping through real quick, looking at the tables for creating sessions, it seems really easy to get one going. It seems real easy to get a session moving.
Yeah, they have rules for all you gotta do is create some stops and get moving. That's all you really gotta do.
And with a couple of D6s, those stops will create themselves. That whole section is lined out with wonderful tables.
That's cool. I like a game that's easily run by just rolling random tables. That's fun for me.
Even when I'm not rolling the random tables, I love seeing them because I can glance across 3 tables and make a session based on that. I don't even have to roll a die.
You don't have to roll. Yeah, I also will sometimes pick things, but it's just good inspiration.
It's so helpful. It's so helpful. I love having a game with good tables. Just looking at something that says, make a problem for the players. That's not very helpful, man. We know we need to make a problem for the players. Give us some examples. And this game has done a great job. Electric State. You gonna watch the Netflix show? I guess that's my next question. We like the way the game looks.
100%. I'm gonna watch the Netflix show. But yeah, I mean, I watch a lot of shows. Right now, I'm watching like Agatha All Along, and I'm really liking it. I'm enjoying TV right now, man. So,
so I'm not even watching. I don't have Disney right now, so I'm not watching Agatha. I don't have HBO, so I'm not watching Game of Thrones. But I do have Netflix, and I might catch myself watching this show. I do think we should give it a little play. I think that should happen.
I do too. No, I'm here for it. We could do like maybe like a 5-session little journey here. That could probably be solid. Something to do sometime early next year, for sure. Maybe this will.
We got to make Kapow and Aaron play because they're both from California, and this is set just outside, or it's set in California. It looks like it's near San Francisco.
Hey, I like both of those people. But yeah, once again, that's Electric State from Free League Publishing. Thank you for sending us this copy to go over. We really appreciate it. And yeah, I have been the board game guru, game master extraordinaire, Jahan.
It's me, Casualty CDG, co-host of Fresh Out the Box. Thank you for joining us. We're looking forward to more Electric State at some point in our future. Give us a like, give us a follow, and check out any of our other games we're playing with all sorts of different cast members and all sorts of settings. We play lots of stuff. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Stay fresh.